Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackie Albertson and I hope you're all having a great day. My day's a little bit better than last time you saw me, fortunately. But if you are new here, the past probably week I have been talking about this haunted doll that someone sent me anonymously to my P.O. box. I have no idea who it was. I know a little bit about her backstory. I know what she's here supposedly to do, which said to protect, basically watch over me and just be there for me, but I'm not too sure if that's the case. And also it never told me anything about the doll, like the spirit attached to the doll whatsoever. It didn't tell me like who she was, how she passed away, nothing. So I don't really know anything about this doll. But to give you a quick overview, the past week that I've had her, really weird stuff has been happening. I've had bad luck. And so in my last video, I was asking you guys if you think I should try to communicate with her and ask her if she's the reason bad stuff has been happening to me. So I guess we're just gonna go ahead and try it out and see what happens. So we're gonna try to communicate with her a little bit, but we're also gonna be reading your guys' scary stories. So I've been doing this series on my channel. This will be the third episode of it, but basically you guys will send me your scariest experiences with the paranormal, or maybe a stalker, or a sketchy neighbor, literally anything scary. So this is the third episode, like I said, and I think you guys really like it because I leave your ad in the video and I give you guys a shout out. So we're going to be doing that as well. We're going to communicate with Samantha a little bit, but I really want to make this video about you guys and give everyone a chance to be on the channel. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. If you haven't seen her already, the doll in question is Samantha. I always love to give you guys a good look of her eyes because they do be wild. Like right off the bat, honestly, I didn't feel anything bad from her whatsoever. If I'm being honest, I don't think it's her who's been causing my like bad luck and stuff like that. I think maybe it's someone, the person who sent it to me might have done something. I don't know how to say it, but so we're gonna start asking her what she thinks, if it's her doing all this stuff. And I'm kind of nervous because if it is her, that's really terrifying. Okay, enough of the jibber jabber, let's just get straight into it. I think we're just gonna do it the same way we did last time, which was me sitting here so you guys could see the angle. And I'm using a pendulum for this. This one's amethyst. And I'm using this little pad with yes, no, maybe, I don't know answers. And before anyone asks, no, these aren't boxers or anything, these are actual shorts. We've got Samantha, and I'm going to be asking questions that I've seen you guys ask a lot, so just to give you an overview once again, this is yes, up and down is yes, across is no, this way is I don't know, and this way is maybe. I'm going to try to be as still as possible. I am super shaky, I have ADD, so I'm literally always shaking, but I'm going to try to be still. Samantha, are you here? Okay, she's saying yes. I'm literally going to close my eyes because when I look at it, I shake. Okay, Samantha, do you like me? I think that's maybe. Wait, she's saying yes? She's saying yes. Samantha, do you like communicating with me? Yes. Okay, that's all for now. Alright, goodbye, Samantha. Goodbye. So now I'm just going to use the Necrophonic app a little bit with her. I don't really like doing it in my house that much, but okay, here we go. Okay, I want to talk to Samantha only. Samantha only. No one else. Samantha, are you here? Hello, Samantha. Samantha, are you here? Samantha, are you happy here? Samantha, do you like me? Okay, I don't really think she's coming through, so I don't like doing this in my house, so I'm just gonna stop there. Alright, goodbye. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today with Samantha. I will definitely keep you guys updated if anything else happens with her. Into your guys' scary stories. Okay, so the first story we have is from someone named Scott, and he emailed this to me, and it is a good one. So I haven't really gotten any alien stories, and this is exactly what this is. Okay, so it reads, personally, I don't believe in them, but every so often something so bizarre happens, all I can do is go, huh? I hope that's how he meant it. I was waiting at a bus stop. This was during the day, not at night, and there was nothing that would get in the way of my line of sight. I'd been there for 10 minutes or so when at first what looked like an airplane came into view. You know how planes drop down as they approach an airport? It was like that. No big deal, planes do fly over this area as there's an airport nearby. I had nothing else to do but wait for the bus and now watch this airplane come in for landing. Here's the huh part. The plane stopped in mid-air, and for lack of any other way to say this, it slid sideways to the right, spun around and flew back the way it just came. It stopped again, slid right more, turned back around and flew forward again. I could just see its shape and notice it was more like a plate, not an airplane. It flew forward some more, then slid right again, and this time sped off. The direction was east. I'm not one to try and rationalize things, I just went, wow, that was damn weird. I do have a cell phone, but never carry it with me in public. I know I'd end up leaving it sitting somewhere or dropping it and not noticing. So this was one of those times where it would have been good to have it. But this did happen. There was a brief mention about an experimental aircraft that was seen. Not much else. What kind of aircraft is plate-shaped and can do that? If I saw that, I definitely think it was a UFO, because there's definitely no plate-shaped airplanes, and just the movement of it. No kind of plane or helicopter thing we have is able to do that as I know of right now, but I have a weird experience like that too. So I was going to a party. This was like 2 years ago. I was going to a party and I got there and we went in the backyard, and this was like right when I got there, we were all standing in the backyard, and out of nowhere I see this big giant blue like ball in the sky. It was like fluorescent blue. And so I'm looking at it and I didn't really think anything of it, but it was so big, I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And I'm looking at it and it drops down, moves to the right, shoots up, moves to the left, and just sporadically moving in all directions. It'd go down and disappear, then shoot back up, and then just like that, it just disappeared into midair. And the whole time while this was going on, this was happening for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I was standing there with all my friends, and I'm like, do you guys see this? Do you guys see what's happening right now? And they'd all just literally like look up at it like, oh yeah, and then look away and start talking to each other again. And I was like, why am I the only one who cares about this? I was literally freaking out because I was like, why doesn't anyone acknowledge this? It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. So that's my UFO experience. UFO. But anyway, thank you, Scott. I really love that story. Okay, so this one comes from Travis. My name is Travis and I live in Sanford, North Carolina. I'm into martial arts, been doing it since I was a little kid. Anyway, the place where I teach/train, I've always said it was haunted. I'm sensitive to seeing spirits or seeing shadows. So one Friday, I had just finished with a workout, so I was sitting on the floor taking notes. Now the school has glass in the front part of the school, and a glass door, so people always walk by. So you know how you get that feeling of someone watching you? Well, I had that feeling, but from where I was sitting. I can easily see if someone walks by, and also I can see the back door. It's an old building, so I can hear if someone opens it. But it was just me in the building, and I felt like someone was watching. Now, I admit I was a little paranoid already, and it was getting dark, so I was just trying to finish my notes and leave because I had to work that Saturday morning. So as I kept writing, I think my hand wandered, and I hear plain as day, "Hey!" Right then it alarmed me, and I could feel a small burst of air as I heard that. So I stopped writing, got up, got my stuff, and left. This is the first time I share this story with anyone, but my teacher, the original owner, had moved to Florida, and if I'm right, it was around the time of his passing. He was killed on a motorcycle, so I think it may have been him saying hey to me, but that was the only time I have heard a voice. I am always seeing shadows and sensing energy, negative or positive. Alright, that's weird, but if it's the teacher that he knew or was his friend, that's pretty cool that he was saying hey. I mean, I've had that stuff happen to me, so I definitely believe that. But thank you, Travis, so much for the story. Okay, so the next one comes from Emma. She says, I know you make videos like this, so I want to tell my dad's story. He's always been able to feel things, and both of my aunts, his sisters, said the same. The house that their grandma used to live in is haunted. They said at night they would see faces in the mirror and see people run room to room, kind of like those scenes in Scooby-Doo. They also said that there was no AC in one side of the house and the doors would slam shut all the time, including their playroom. They said that there is one room nobody would go in, and it was a room of dolls. Oh no, no. The house is still there, nobody even goes slow when driving by. I feel things too, and I know at my house I think there is a friendly spirit that watches over me. I hear footsteps going up the hall but never down it. They never come quite to my room, and it sounds like a woman or small man's footsteps. Some Civil War battles did happen, like where my house is now, so it makes sense. P.S. I love your videos, you're so sweet. Thank you for making me smile, making these spooky videos. Oh, thank you, Emma. That makes me happy when I hear people enjoy watching my videos. I just love it, so thank you. Okay, this one comes from Isabella. My first encounter was when I was about 8. Let me say something before I go in. I live in a quiet neighborhood with not a lot of traffic on the main road. Anyway, I was sitting at the top step of my stairs going down to my basement. Nothing was turned on, no radio, no kitchen appliances, and no TV. Plus, I am an only child. I was waiting there for my dad because he was doing some laundry. All of a sudden, I hear out of nowhere something whisper in my ear, "Don't move, don't do anything." In a low whisper voice I didn't recognize. I called down to my dad in the basement to ask if it was him, but he replied no. Still to this day, I don't know what it was. Before I start another, I want to make this clear that the stories right now I'm about to tell is from my mom telling me about this when I was little, and I don't remember saying any of this. My mom says that when I was little, about 3 or 4, I said some strange things like, "Daddy doesn't feel good, Daddy's sick." My dad came home that day with a cold from work. "It's Bree's birthday, happy birthday, Bree," I said as I pointed to our neighbor's house who had a daughter named Bree. The next day, my mom asked our neighbors if it was Bree's birthday recently. He replied, "A couple of days ago." I was so young I couldn't have known that. Lastly, this one freaks me out the most. Once I was playing with one of my toy purses and my mom said, "Where are you going, Rosie?" jokingly because my middle name is Rose, and I had a great-grandmother named Rosie. I replied, "I'm going to North Plymouth to see my friends." My mom was in shock because my great-grandmother lived in Plymouth, and she would walk everywhere with her purse, but she died before I was born. Okay, that's crazy. I've heard some stories of that happening to people who like being named this after a grandmother or something and stuff like that happening, but it definitely sounds like Isabella has some sort of gift in some way. So thank you for sending that, Isabella. Hi, I'm Savannah and I follow you on TikTok. Thanks for following me, and watch your latest video about emailing you a ghost experience. And I believe I have quite a few, but I'll try to keep it brief. At my mother's house, when I was 8 and everyone else was asleep, I saw this tall, shadowy figure looking at me with reddish-orange eyes, right before I was about to fall asleep. That was around midnight. After that, I began to see and hear things out of the ordinary. My sister used to have these puzzles that would make noise when you put the pieces together, and every time I walked past her room, when no one was in there, a noise would go off. Then I heard little kids laughing in my room with earbuds in. I also heard scratching on the bathroom door that is very close to my room. I've even seen the figure of a girl wearing a long white robe or something with hair covering her face. She looked like she was staring down at the pillow I was sleeping on, but I didn't see her until I got up to turn my light on at 6 a.m. exactly. I've even been woken up at times to hear my dog starting to bark at the hallway when no one was there. And even though most of these things happen either when I'm home alone or I'm the only one awake, my family have told me they've heard or seen things as well. And I can't explain these things because I don't really know the full story of my house. But I know I've always had a bad feeling about certain things since moving in. Okay, so that's not the end of the story, but let me just say I've had a lot of my experiences have been just like that, so this is interesting to me. Okay, then she continues on to say, at my dad's house when I was younger and a little dumb, I had friends over and we decided to play with the Ouija board. Okay, that was literally me when I was younger with my friends. Bad idea. I'm not gonna play or touch a Ouija board for a really long time. Unfortunately, we didn't have one, so we just made one. It had worked, and I knew it worked because at first I thought that everyone was joking, so I told them to take their hands off and to only let me play. When they did, the piece still moved, and when I took my hands off and put theirs on, it didn't move. But once my dad found out, he immediately burnt the board and told me the dangers of the game, which I now know. But every once in a while, I'll hear breathing in my closet at night. No matter what I do, it doesn't stop until I finally fall asleep. But I don't hear it every night. I also used to see and hear my music carousel playing by itself for a second or so before stopping without me even touching it, which has scared one of my friends. But the craziest thing I think has happened has been my stuffed animal falling off my TV. It's wedged between my TV and a board above it so that it doesn't fall off, but I've seen it just randomly fall. And once when I was walking past to get something from my closet, it looked like it had been taken out, held in the air by something for half a second, and then dropped. I didn't want to touch it after that. But other than having weird feelings sometimes, that's all that has happened. So that's a lot that has happened. Using one of those boards can cause a lot of things. That's what happened with me. It kind of like set everything off. So it's never a good idea. I just did it the other night though because Kelsey knows what she's doing and she had all the means of protection, so I felt comfortable enough to do it a little bit. But other than that, never ever ever do it in your house. And always, if you do it, which you shouldn't, make sure you have some form of protection and you know exactly what you're doing. But my recommendation is don't do it. Go on YouTube and watch dumb people like me do it. Thank you so much, Savannah. Okay, so this next one comes from Sarah. Hi, I love your YouTube channel so much and I love what you do so much. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. But anyway, she says, I'm going to tell you about my dad's haunted house. I've never lived in it because I wasn't born yet, but the reason I know he isn't lying about the story is because my dad isn't the type to mess around, and he already knows I'm scared of multiple things, so he wouldn't lie to me to scare me or anything. He bought this big house as a place he would go to chill on vacation or weekends. The house was very old and looked creepy, but my dad loves these type of things. Why are dads like that? Like, why do dads love that kind of stuff? My dad literally lived in Alaska for 4 years by himself in a little cabin in the middle of the woods. He told me the first night he spent there was the worst. When he got the house, he decided to throw away the mattress because he wanted to start the construction a bit. So he took the mattress and tried throwing it by the window so he could pick it up from the floor. But when he threw it, he heard this loud squeaky scream. It couldn't have been the mattress because it's obviously soft. He told me this gave him chills, and even him, the type who never gets scared easily, was horrified and decided to spend the night by his fireplace. Another day while cleaning up the house, he found pictures of a crib filled up with flowers and a Jesus cross. He felt a presence in this house, but now he knew it was a baby. He felt like the spirit was named Martha. Once he had his girlfriend over, and while she was doing constructions in one of the rooms, and as my dad was leaving that room, he told his girlfriend, "Don't forget to turn off the lights when you leave." And of course, at that moment, the lights turned off. Not any electricity problem or anything. They heard a click. The other incidents were just doors shutting or other smaller things, but one day he wanted to try and let the ghost free, so he just opened every door, window he could find in his house for a while, and since then, he had no other signs of another presence. But when my mom came to his house for the first time, the neighbor told her there were dead bodies in the well. My dad doesn't believe that part about the bodies though. Now the house is sold and I don't live there, but I'd love to go. Okay, what do you mean there's bodies in the well? I mean, any house that has a well, I feel like there would be bodies in it. Because who else has a well? Besides, like the guy from, what's it called, Joe Dirt, that's like put the lotion on the skin. So I could see that being a possibility. But thank you, Sarah, for that story. That was creepy. Okay, we'll do one or two more. So this one comes from Danica. Hi, my name is Danica, and I've had many creepy experiences. Before I tell you the story, I need to tell you some background information. My grandpa passed away in December 2019. I'm sorry, that's terrible. Okay, she says, I was at my aunt's house about 10 hours away from where my grandpa was living at the time. The night of his passing, I had a bad dream. It involved guns, people dying, and many other bad things. I've always had bad dreams like that since I was a child, but when I woke up, I felt like I had hit my head against a brick wall. It hurt super bad and I almost passed out from the pain. A few minutes after I woke up, my mom came in to tell me that my grandpa had passed away that night. I knew as soon as she told me that my bad dream was preparing me for when my mom told me that my grandpa passed away. And that wasn't the first time it happened. Every night something bad happens to my dad's side of the family, I have super bad dreams. It also happened when my uncle passed away and the night my cousin passed away. And I'm the only person in my family who this happens to. It has never happened when something bad happens to my mom's side. It only happens on my dad's side. That's crazy. I wouldn't like that, being like, kind of like notified when something's about to happen. I feel like that would just terrify me. I'd have so much anxiety all the time. Well, thank you, Danica. Okay, we'll end it off on this one. So this one comes from Marley. I went on a school field trip in 4th grade, but it wasn't a normal trip. It was a camp trip where we stayed for 3 days and 2 nights. The first night was completely normal, but the second night, there was creepy stuff happening. Anyway, it was like 3 a.m., almost 4, and I hear something from the front of the cabin. By the way, I'm on the top bunk, right next to the window. I brush it off and I go to use the bathroom. As soon as I get back into my bunk, I feel something heavy on me. So I just laid back. I couldn't sleep, so I look out the window and there was a park right outside the window. Then I hear more noises from the front of the cabin, but like the 4th grader I was, I brush it off and go back to look out the window, and I saw a little girl and a little boy. The girl was in a white dress and the boy was in a black tux. I heard more noises from the door, so I turned around really quickly. I saw nothing there, so I looked back outside and they disappeared. I looked around the park, but I didn't see anything. The little girl was also holding a doll. I was looking online to see if I could find anything, but I couldn't. But I did find a picture that looked like the doll she was holding. I'll insert the picture right here. But that's seriously so scary. You know I don't like dolls. Okay, so that's gonna do it for today's video. I wanna say thank you to everyone who sent stories, and don't worry, there's gonna be part 4 coming out very soon. I have a lot more stories in my phone, so keep sending them to me, and the people who have, trust me, you'll be in a video very soon. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notification icon so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And I almost forgot, I did a podcast yesterday. It's with the Real Hauntings Podcast. It's gonna be out on the 18th of this month, I think, so go check that out. Go check out their podcast. Once again, it's called the Real Hauntings Podcast. It was super cool, so look out for that. And let me know if you guys want me to make merch. I've been designing some stuff, so leave it down in the comments if you want to see me come out with some merch. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.